You can't truly love others if you've never learned to love yourself first. And most people don't realize how quietly they abandon themselves every single day. We chase approval, we bend our boundaries, and we give pieces of our worth to anyone who asks, until there's almost nothing left for us. In a world that rewards self-sacrifice but rarely teaches self-respect, many of us grow up believing that loving ourselves is selfish. The Stoics believed the opposite. A person who knows their worth becomes a source of strength, clarity, and peace for everyone around them. Self-love isn't comfort, it's discipline. Self-love isn't indulgence, it's alignment with virtue. When you start choosing yourself, your values, your peace, your dignity, you don't become colder, you become whole. You become someone who no longer begs for attention, lowers their standards, or settles for less than they deserve. And once that happens, every part of your life begins to change. Today, you'll learn how to love yourself more than anyone else, just as a Stoic would. Habit 1. Virtue. First, because real self-love begins with who you choose to be. If you don't live by your values, you will never feel safe inside your own skin. Most people try to love themselves by changing their appearance, their relationships, or their achievements. But the Stoics understood something deeper. You can only love yourself when you respect the person you are becoming. Self-love is not a feeling. It's the byproduct of living in alignment with what you know is right. When your actions, words, and choices reflect your highest standards, your mind stops attacking you, your heart stops doubting you, and your life begins to feel grounded rather than chaotic. Virtue is not about perfection. It's about choosing integrity when no one is watching. Marcus Aurelius believed that a person becomes powerful the moment they stop performing for the world and start living by their principles. When you act with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, you build a relationship with yourself that cannot be shaken by judgment or rejection. You stop needing praise to feel worthy. You stop collapsing every time someone disapproves of you. And slowly, you begin to trust your own voice again. Self-love grows every time you choose what is right over what is easy. Think about the moments you felt proud of yourself. Truly proud. They weren't moments of comfort. They were moments when you resisted temptation, set a boundary, told the truth, or walked away from something that didn't honor you. Those decisions strengthened your sense of self more than any compliment ever could. This is why virtue comes first. It anchors you to a version of yourself you actually admire. When you betray your values, you betray yourself, and deep down, you feel it. Every time you say yes when you mean no, tolerate disrespect, avoid hard conversations, or act against your inner wisdom, you lose a little bit of trust in yourself. That inner fracture becomes the root of shame, insecurity, and emotional confusion. Loving yourself becomes impossible when you keep abandoning the person who needs you most, yourself. But when you live by virtue, self-love becomes natural, effortless, and unshakable. Start with 4 simple questions before every choice. Is this wise? Is this just? Is this courageous? Is this balanced? These questions guide you back to yourself. They help you act with clarity rather than fear, and intention rather than impulse. As you practice them, you begin to build a life where you feel proud of who you are. Not because others approve, but because your soul does. Self-love is not a gift you wait to receive. It's a character you choose to build. Habit 2. Master the 2 circles of control. The boundary that protects your peace. You cannot love yourself if you keep blaming yourself for things you were never meant to control. Most people carry unnecessary guilt, anxiety, and emotional exhaustion because they try to manage the thoughts, feelings, and reactions of everyone around them. They worry about who likes them, who misunderstands them, who leaves, who stays, and who approves. But the Stoics offered one of the most liberating truths in human history. Your peace begins the moment you separate what belongs to you from what doesn't. Your energy collapses when you live in the wrong circle. The first circle, your circle of control, contains your choices, your actions, your effort, and the meaning you assign to what happens. This is your power. This is your responsibility. Everything outside of it, people's opinions, outcomes you can't predict, timing you can't force, emotions you didn't cause, is the second circle. It is real, but it is not yours to carry. When you try to control it, you don't become stronger. You become drained, resentful, and self-critical. Self-love means refusing to suffer for things that were never in your hands. Think about how often you judge yourself for someone else's reaction. You apologize for things you didn't do wrong. You twist yourself to prevent others from misunderstanding you. You lose sleep trying to fix someone's disappointment. This is self-abandonment, disguised as responsibility. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "If it's not from me, it's not my burden." When you release the weight of what isn't yours, you return to yourself. Lighter, clearer, calmer. The more you control, the less you love yourself. The more you let go, the more you find peace. Imagine living a life where you don't feel responsible for changing people, saving people, or convincing people to see your worth. Imagine letting people think what they want without feeling the need to defend yourself. Imagine trusting that your value does not rise or fall based on someone else's approval. This is the freedom that comes from mastering the two circles. Self-love grows when your effort is focused where it actually matters. When you pour your energy into what you can control, your discipline, your boundaries, your habits, your reactions, you begin to see your life shift. You feel grounded rather than overwhelmed. You feel capable rather than powerless. And most importantly, you stop beating yourself up for what was never your responsibility in the first place. To practice this habit, write 2 columns each morning: what I can control and what I cannot. Then commit to acting only in the first column and releasing the second. Over time, this simple ritual becomes an act of self-respect. When you protect your peace, you prove to yourself that you are worth protecting. Habit 3. Emotional mastery. Because you deserve to feel safe. Inside your own mind. You cannot love yourself if your emotions control you more than you control them. Most people live in constant emotional reaction, triggered by what others say, overwhelmed by sudden waves of insecurity, or pulled into storms they never created. And every time your emotions take over, you lose a little bit of trust in yourself. You begin to fear your own mind. You doubt your ability to stay grounded. But the Stoics understood that emotional mastery is not suppression. It's understanding, naming, and choosing your response with intention. Your emotions are not the problem. Your relationship with them is. Humans feel deeply. That's not weakness. It's wiring. What creates suffering is the habit of reacting instantly, without clarity. When you explode, withdraw, or spiral into overthinking, your nervous system learns that you are not a safe leader for your own inner world. But when you slow down and choose your response, your mind begins to trust you again. This trust is the foundation of self-love. Awareness comes before control. Name it, and you can navigate it. The Stoics practiced labeling emotions because clarity weakens chaos. Instead of saying, "I'm angry," they would say, "A feeling of anger is arising in me." That small distance creates space, and in that space, you regain your power. You move from being the emotion to observing the emotion. This shift transforms impulsive reactions into thoughtful decisions. It reminds you that feelings are visitors, not dictators. The STOIC method is how you return to yourself. Stop. Pause before you do anything. Take 3 slow breaths. Reset your nervous system. Observe. Name the feeling without judging it. Interpret. Ask what story you're telling yourself. Choose. Act according to your values, not your impulses. This simple method can protect your relationships, your self-respect, and your peace. It prevents you from saying things you don't mean, chasing people you shouldn't, or punishing yourself for temporary emotions. You love yourself every time you choose clarity over chaos. Think about a moment when you stayed calm instead of reacting. You felt powerful, didn't you? You felt proud. You felt like someone you could rely on. This is emotional mastery, and every time you practice it, you strengthen your sense of identity. You begin to believe, I can trust myself to handle life. Emotional mastery is self-love in action. To build this habit, reflect each night. What triggered me today? What emotion appeared? What belief fueled it? What would my highest self choose next time? These small reflections teach your mind that you are paying attention, that you care, that you are becoming someone steady. When you master your emotions, you don't just love yourself, you protect yourself. Habit 4. Negative visualization. The Stoic practice that makes you appreciate yourself and your life more deeply. You can't love yourself if you're always focused on what you lack instead of what you already have. Modern life constantly pushes you to want more validation, more success, more affection, more attention. And the more you chase, the more you forget the blessings already in your hands. The Stoics knew that the fastest way to gratitude, and therefore to inner peace, was not through gaining more, but through imagining life without what you take for granted. This isn't pessimism. It's awakening. It's a return to presence. It's remembering that nothing is guaranteed, not even the people or comforts you hold closest. Gratitude is not automatic. It must be trained or it fades. Every day, you walk past victories you no longer notice. You overlook qualities in yourself that once felt impossible to develop. You forget the storms you survived and the strength you earned. When you stop seeing your life clearly, you also stop valuing yourself. Negative visualization pulls you out of autopilot and into awareness. It shows you the truth. You have already overcome more than you realize. You're already more capable than you give yourself credit for. When you imagine losing something, you learn to love it more honestly, including yourself. Try this. Imagine for a moment that you lost your health, your mobility, your voice, or the freedom you enjoy daily. Imagine the version of you who would give anything to have just one ordinary day back. One morning with no pain, one walk with no fear, one conversation without hesitation. That version of you reminds you how precious your life already is. It also makes you kinder to yourself because you see how much you've been taking your own existence for granted. Negative visualization is not about fear, it's about perspective. The Stoics used it to remove entitlement and awaken gratitude. When you visualize a setback, a delay, or a loss before it happens, you become mentally prepared instead of shocked. You become calm instead of reactive, and you stop demanding that life must always go your way. You start appreciating what is here instead of resenting what isn't. This attitude creates emotional stability, and emotional stability is one of the purest forms of self-love. A grateful mind cannot hate itself. Practice this habit each morning. Choose one thing you value: your health, your freedom, your time, or someone you love. Imagine life without it for 10 seconds. Then open your eyes and let the gratitude settle in. This small exercise softens resentment, dissolves envy, and strengthens your connection to your own life. When you learn to appreciate the present moment, you finally learn to appreciate yourself. Habit 5. Radical honesty through journaling. The mirror that teaches you to finally see yourself clearly. You cannot love yourself if you don't understand yourself. So many people feel lost, overwhelmed, or disconnected because they've never paused long enough to hear their own mind. They carry emotions they never name, wounds they never examine, and habits they never question. And when you don't understand your inner world, you begin to fear it. You begin to avoid silence. You begin to live on autopilot. Stoic journaling breaks this cycle. It becomes a sanctuary where you meet yourself without judgment, without noise, and without pretending. Honesty is the beginning of healing, and self-love grows from healing. The Stoics journaled to confront their weaknesses, clarify their values, and take responsibility for their choices. They weren't writing to impress anyone. They were writing to evolve. When you put your thoughts on paper, you separate truth from fear, patterns from impulses, and pain from identity. You begin to recognize what needs to change and what deserves compassion. This clarity is an act of deep respect for yourself. Your journal is not a place to be perfect. It's a place to be real. Ask yourself 6 questions each night. What did I do well today? Where did I fall short of my values? What emotion ruled most of my day? What belief created that emotion? What am I grateful for? What one action will make tomorrow better? These questions don't just help you reflect, they guide you back to yourself. They turn chaos into understanding, shame into accountability, and confusion into direction. When you answer honestly, you slowly rebuild trust with the person who matters most. You. Healing begins when you stop lying to yourself. Most of the suffering you carry doesn't come from what happened to you, but from the stories you've been telling yourself about what happened. Journaling reveals those stories. It exposes the moments you blamed yourself unfairly, the fears that aren't actually true, the wounds you've been avoiding, and the patterns you continue repeating. When you see these clearly, you reclaim the authority to rewrite them. Self-love requires unfiltered truth, because you cannot love a version of yourself you don't fully face. Imagine looking back at your journal after a month. You would see your progress, your strength, your consistency. You would see evidence that you are trying, growing, rising, even on days when you felt stuck. This is how journaling cultivates self-love. It gives you proof that you are on your own side. When you write your truth, you become someone you can trust, and trust is the foundation of love. Habit 6. Voluntary discomfort. Because comfort will never build the version of you you're meant to love. You cannot love yourself if you always choose what's easy over what's right. Comfort feels good in the moment, but over time it erodes your self-respect. It makes you softer than your challenges and smaller than your potential. The Stoics understood a powerful truth. The mind only grows stronger when the body and spirit are tested. Voluntary discomfort isn't about suffering for no reason. It's about training yourself to become someone you can rely on, someone you admire, someone you are proud to be. Every time you avoid discomfort, you tell yourself you are fragile. Every time you face it, you prove that you are not. Seneca slept on the floor. Marcus endured harsh winters without complaint. Epictetus lived with disability, yet built an unbreakable spirit. They practiced hardship not because they loved pain, but because they understood that comfort breeds weakness, while challenge breeds character. And you know this too. Think of every moment you earned pride, strength, or dignity. None of them came from staying comfortable. What you avoid controls you. What you confront frees you. Imagine how your life would change if you stopped running from the things that intimidate you. Cold mornings, tough conversations, difficult workouts, or quiet moments with your own thoughts. When you voluntarily step into discomfort, the world stops being something you fear. Challenges lose their power over you. You stop doubting your resilience because you experience it firsthand. Discomfort is the gym where self-love is built. Try one challenge each day, just one. Take a cold shower for 30 seconds. Walk instead of driving. Skip a luxury you cling to. Sit in silence for 10 minutes without your phone. Do something difficult before sunrise. These small acts are not punishments, they are declarations. Each one says, I am strong enough, I am capable enough, I am worth the effort. The more you challenge yourself, the more you trust yourself. Think of the pride you feel after doing something you didn't want to do. That's self-love. It grows when you keep your promises, when you push through resistance, when you show up even without motivation. These moments rewrite the stories you carry about who you are. They turn "I can't" into "I did." They turn fear into confidence. They turn self-doubt into self-respect. Comfort doesn't love you. Discipline does. Voluntary discomfort isn't about pain. It's about power. It teaches you to stay calm under pressure, to adapt faster than fear can catch you, and to walk into challenges with your head lifted instead of your heart trembling. And when life becomes difficult, and it will, you'll rise because you've trained for it. When you choose discomfort with intention, you choose a version of yourself you can finally love. Habit 7. The art of saying no. Because self-love cannot exist without boundaries. You cannot love yourself if you allow everyone to take pieces of you whenever they want. One of the greatest sources of exhaustion, resentment, and self-doubt comes from the inability to say no. Most people aren't drained because they do too much. They're drained because they do too much for the wrong reasons. They say yes to avoid conflict. They say yes to be liked. They say yes because they fear disappointing others more than they fear abandoning themselves. But every yes that violates your values is a quiet act of self-betrayal. A boundary is not a wall. It is a declaration of what your soul is no longer willing to carry. The Stoics taught that self-respect is the foundation of a good life. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that he was the guardian of his own mind, responsible for protecting what enters and what stays. When you allow people to interrupt your peace, demand your time, or overstep your emotional space, you weaken that guardianship. But when you set boundaries, you strengthen the relationship you have with yourself. Boundaries are not selfish. They are the purest form of self-care. Every time you say yes to something unimportant, you say no to something essential. Think of how many times you agreed to something you didn't want, a gathering you had no energy for, a favor that drained you, a conversation that felt wrong. Afterward, you didn't just lose time, you lost respect for yourself. You felt the tension inside, the quiet disappointment, the inner voice whispering, "Why didn't you protect me?" Loving yourself means refusing to abandon yourself for approval that never lasts. The truth is simple. People who benefit from your lack of boundaries are the ones who complain when you finally set them. And that's okay. Boundaries reveal who truly values you. When you start saying no with kindness but firmness, the right people will respect it and the wrong people will fall away. You don't need permission to protect your time, your energy, or your emotional clarity. You only need courage. A Stoic does not apologize for choosing peace. They do not explain their boundaries like crimes. They state them calmly, consistently, and without guilt. Saying no is an act of love for yourself and for the life you want to build. Practice with simple phrases. "Thanks, I can't commit to that right now. That doesn't work for me. I don't have the capacity for this." No justification, no essay, no guilt. As you strengthen this habit, something powerful happens. You stop chasing acceptance. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You stop sacrificing your well-being to maintain relationships that weren't healthy to begin with. Saying no becomes a doorway back to your dignity. When you learn to protect your energy, you finally learn to protect yourself. Habit 8. Morning reflection. The ritual that aligns you with the person you want to become. You cannot love yourself if you begin every day in chaos. Most people wake up and immediately hand over their peace to the world. Notifications, messages, obligations, expectations. Before they take their first full breath, their mind is already overwhelmed. Their heart is already reactive. Their day is already owned by everything except themselves. But the Stoics began each morning with intention. They understood that how you start determines how you stand, how you choose, and how you love yourself throughout the day. A peaceful morning is not a luxury. It is a form of self-respect. When you give yourself the first few minutes of the day, you reclaim something sacred, your inner authority. Instead of being pulled into the noise, you choose clarity. Instead of being controlled by emotion, you choose direction. Instead of being shaped by circumstances, you choose your values. This is not a routine, it is a way of reminding yourself that your life belongs to you. Reflection is where self-love becomes practical. Sit with yourself for 5 to 7 minutes each morning. No phone, no pressure, just presence. Ask 3 simple questions. What is in my control today? What is outside my control today? Who do I choose to be regardless of what happens? These questions create emotional order. They turn confusion into clarity and anxiety into preparation. When you begin your day knowing what truly matters and what simply does not, you carry yourself differently, calmer, wiser, more grounded. A grounded mind makes grounded decisions, and grounded decisions build self-love. Negative visualization also belongs in this ritual. Imagine one thing going wrong today, a delay, a disappointment, an uncomfortable conversation. Instead of fearing it, picture yourself responding with stability, courage, and patience. When the real moment arrives, your nervous system recognizes it. You stay composed because you've already rehearsed strength. This quiet preparation is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Gratitude completes the ritual and transforms the entire day. Choose 3 things you are grateful for. Not grand achievements, simple truths. Your breath, your body, someone you love, the chance to grow. Gratitude is the antidote to self-criticism. It softens your heart, shifts your perspective, and reminds you of the value already present in your life. A grateful person does not speak to themselves with cruelty. They do not measure themselves only by what they lack. Your morning is where the relationship with yourself begins. Protect it. When you practice morning reflection, life stops feeling like something that happens to you and starts feeling like something you actively shape. You walk into the world with intention rather than impulse, with clarity rather than panic, with dignity rather than self-doubt. And slowly, day by day, you build a version of yourself you truly admire. When you honor your mornings, you honor yourself. Loving yourself is not a feeling you wait for. It is a life you choose to build. When you look back at these 8 Stoic habits, a pattern appears. Self-love is created through action, alignment, discipline, and honesty. It grows when you stop abandoning yourself, when you choose your values over your impulses, and when you protect your peace instead of giving it away. Every habit you practice, virtue, emotional mastery, clear boundaries, gratitude, discomfort, reflection, becomes a vote for the person you want to be. And with each vote, your relationship with yourself becomes stronger, steadier, and more unshakable. Self-love is not a soft, romantic idea. It is strength. It is clarity. It is the courage to show up for yourself even when no one else does. It is the decision to stop seeking permission, stop chasing approval, and stop apologizing for choosing what aligns with your soul. The Stoics understood that a person who loves themselves deeply becomes a force of stability, someone who is grounded, intentional, and impossible to break. As you move forward, take these habits with you. Practice one each day. Let them shape how you speak to yourself, how you respond to challenges, and how you walk through the world. Over time, you won't just feel more love for yourself. You will become someone worthy of that love through your actions. Because when you choose yourself, you don't lose anything. You finally gain your life back.